This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Thursday, the 5th day of June in the year 2025. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here is what we're tracking tonight. Tonight, the Senior Superintendent of Police, Himnot Saw, is among 4 Guyanese that have been sanctioned by the U.S. government for their reported links to drug trafficking and the Colombian drug trafficking on the world. In a statement today, the U.S. Department of the Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control named the Senior Superintendent of Police, Himnot Saw, along with businessman Paul Davey Jr., Mark Cromwell, also known as Demon of Buxton, and Randolph Duncan, also known as Rudolph Duncan, to its latest list of sanctioned individuals. The 4 are linked to 2 Colombian nationals who have also been sanctioned by the U.S. for drug trafficking and related crimes. According to the Office of Foreign Assets Control of the U.S. Treasury Department, for decades, Guyana has been a transshipment point for the movement of drugs from South America to the U.S. and Europe. The office said drug traffickers have been exploiting the rivers and jungles of South America by transiting large quantities of cocaine from Colombia and Venezuela through the waters of Guyana and Suriname. The statement further indicated that Guyana's proximity to the Caribbean, as well as reported corruption along its ports and borders, allowed maritime vessels known as narco submarines to transit through its waters undetected. The U.S. said drug traffickers utilized the vessels to smuggle cocaine from the ports of Guyana and Suriname across the Atlantic to the U.S., Europe, and the Caribbean. The report also noted that traffickers also coordinated the importation of cocaine loads from Colombia and Venezuela to Guyana via small aircraft, utilizing illegal airstrips in Guyana as landing spots. The U.S. government noted that cocaine has been discovered buried in underground bunkers located on airstrips and in jungle territory within Guyana's Barima-Waini region as a prominent location. Cocaine is then flown via aircraft to the U.S., Europe, and the Caribbean, the report noted. News source understands that the sanctioned persons have been investigated for several months by the U.S. authorities, and they were linked to a major drug bust that took place in the Barima-Waini region in September of last year, when more than 4.4 tons of cocaine was discovered stashed near an illegal airstrip in Region 1. During that operation, it was the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit that worked along with the Guyana Defense Force Special Forces and the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency. The Guyana Police Force was left out of the operation, although it has a police base in the region. The commander of the base at that time was the same senior superintendent who has now been sanctioned by the U.S. government. Although there were concerns about his alleged ties to the cocaine discovery, he was never directly linked to the large haul. But he was removed from the area and reassigned to police headquarters. In a statement tonight, the Guyana Police Force said it has taken note of a report by the U.S. Department of the Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control to sanction 4 Guyanese, including a Senior Superintendent of Police, Himnot Saw. The police force said, in keeping with the Guyana Police Force's standard operating procedure, Senior Superintendent Saw has been sent on administrative leave following him being sanctioned for drug trafficking by the U.S. The police said Senior Superintendent Saw joined the police force on the 3rd of June 2008. His last posting was at the force's projects office. Businessman Paul Davey Jr. has long been on the radar of local and foreign drug investigators. His late father, Paul Davey Sr., was also under the eyes of U.S. drug investigators for his alleged ties to the narco trade. He passed away a few years ago during the COVID-19 pandemic and had been flown to Colombia on a private jet for treatment, but still died after contracting the virus. Buxtonian Mark Cromwell has also been linked locally to drug trafficking previously. He is a former policeman turned businessman, and last year a wanted bulletin was issued for his arrest in connection with a kidnapping probe. He has also been known to be closely linked to a number of persons in the present government and has been spotted in public settings with some of them. The U.S. government has been paying close attention to Guyana and the growing drug trade over the years, with Region 1 with its porous borders being used as a main transshipment point. More news coming up in just a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. It can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Prostate cancer is one of the most common cancers in men. It starts in the prostate, a small gland that plays a vital role in male reproductive health. Early stages often show no symptoms, but advanced cases can lead to difficulty urinating, blood in urine, or pain in the hips and back. Risks increases with age, family history, and lifestyle. Luckily, early detection saves lives. Simple screening like the PSA test or a routine checkup can make all the difference. Don't wait. Take charge of your health. Talk to your doctor about prostate cancer today. Early detection could save your life.
The Father's Day Cultural Extravaganza is here again. Yes, it's dedication to Daddy 6 under the theme Stand Tall, Daddy, featuring Romo Edmondson, Letitia De Silva, Keisha Sam, Neelan Benjamin, Sonia Yard, Barbara Lee, Simone Dowding, Colin Ambrose, Frederick Minty, Antoine Gonzalez, Creative Arts Dance Troupe, and others on Sunday, the 15th of June from 8 p.m. at the National Cultural Center. Tickets $2,500. Treat Dad to an unforgettable evening of wine, song, dance, and drama with an opportunity to win a fabulous door prize directed by Sharon Cadogan Taylor. Dedication to Daddy 6. Stand tall, Daddy.
A proposal by opposition-nominated Election Commissioner Vincent Alexander for the incarcerated to be allowed to vote in this year's regional and general elections received fierce objections from the government-aligned commissioners at the Elections Commission during their meeting today. Alexander based his proposal on Article 159 of the Constitution, which states that Guyanese 18 years and older are eligible to vote, except those who are certified to be insane and/or have been convicted of an election offense.
The chairman sought to suggest that there is some law that forbids the public or anyone from speaking with prisoners, and therefore we don't have the facilitation to allow them to vote. We argue that there was no need to speak with prisoners, that the list of the incarcerated can be compiled the same way in which the list of discipline services are compiled, and they could vote on that day without us touching the prisoners. Apart from the fact that we don't agree that the law forbids people from speaking to the prisoners, because there are a whole range of committees of all sorts that interact with prisoners. And when we talk about prisoners, we also included people who are on remand, whose lawyers can speak with them. So it's a nonsense to say that the law forbids it.
According to Mr. Alexander, the chairman of the Elections Commission, retired Justice Claudette Singh, while expressing some legal concerns, committed to doing additional research on the issue and is expected to come up again next Tuesday at the next meeting. But government-nominated commissioner Says Gunaraj told reporters that the issue was thoroughly addressed by the commission today. He said it was concluded that legislative work would be required to allow incarcerated persons to vote.
This is an issue that requires specific legislation. As you know, prisoners are governed by specific legislation, and as a consequence, to merely, if you are to think about it pragmatically, to merely say, what, we're going to put a polling station in the prison? Just like special legislation has been put in place to deal with voting on days outside of elections day by discipline services members, etc. There is no such facility. There is no such facility that is in place in the law to allow voting by prisoners. And as
Mr. Gunaraj, an attorney at law, said the Elections Commission must be guided by the law, and there will have to be changes in the law to facilitate prisoners voting, whether they are convicted or on remand. There are more than 2,000 persons in Guyana's prison system. Vice President Jagdeo this afternoon dismissed as lies the recent revelations by businessman Azruddin Mohamed, who released WhatsApp messages earlier this week showing that he was assisted by President Irfan Ali to clear his multi-million-dollar Lamborghini vehicle and negotiated the taxes to be paid to the Guyana Revenue Authority. The importation of the vehicle almost 5 years ago is now at the center of a number of court cases, including criminal cases. At a press conference this afternoon, the vice president said he will not get into details, but he rejected the businessman's version of what took place.
So, I'm not going to go into great detail. I don't even want to go into great detail about it. But this is the guy who talks about people selling their mother, you know, for who lack integrity. He lacks even a modicum of decency, much less integrity. He lies openly. Every time he opens his mouth, he contradicts himself. He contradicts himself. This is a really stupid person.
When President Ali sought to clarify the issue 2 days ago, he did not deny assisting the Mohammeds, but he contended that the true documents for the vehicle were never presented to him by the businessman. Mr. Jagdeo told reporters today that the president had no clue of the tax evasion, and he believes that Mr. Mohamed has now contradicted himself.
And then we saw him release the evidence. And it was like dismissive. You know, when people, all the time you get them, and yes, I deal with it, etc. I'll deal with that. That's it. TIGI wants explanation from President Ali about the two tiny posts that you've all seen. They don't want explanation about the 10,000 kilograms of gold that may have been smuggled out of the country. That may have been that was smuggled by the Mohammeds out of the country.
Meanwhile, Transparency Guyana has called on the president to come clean on the issue, saying that a release by Mr. Mohamed raises serious questions about integrity in government. But Mr. Jagdeo said the president will not be engaged in any back and forth on the issue.
The president addressed it. The president will not get into the trench with a man of low integrity and a man who is sanctioned by the US for smuggling 10,000 kilograms of gold that the US said they have a mountain load of evidence for, and that refuses to answer that question truthfully.
Azruddin Mohamed was recently charged by the Guyana Revenue Authority for evading taxes over the importation of the luxury vehicle, but he has denied any wrongdoings. Along with his father and their companies and Government Permanent Secretary May Thomas, Mr. Azruddin Mohamed was sanctioned by the U.S. government last year on allegations of tax evasion and under-declaration of gold, among other claims. Let's tell you now that Exxon Mobile Guyana's Vice President and Business Services Manager John Colling has said that the oil giant is working with the government to find an acceptable solution to the $214 million cost recovery dispute. The dispute stems from the first audit of expenses declared by Exxon Mobile and its co-venturers for the period 1999 to 2017, which was conducted by IHS Markit. The government has said that the matter is headed for arbitration. Last month, the government said it has communicated to Exxon Mobil and its partners that its position remains firm on the disputed $214 million. It said both government and the co-venturers have agreed to activate the provision for a sole expert as enshrined in the production sharing agreement. The government has submitted multiple nominees for the sole expert position. The sole expert is an established dispute resolution mechanism which can resolve disagreements over the cost recovery claims. On Tuesday, Colling told reporters that Exxon hopes that both sides can find an acceptable solution.
Well, what I'd mention is that first audit covers a very long period of time, from 1999 to 2017. So there's actually a lot of information that we need to go through with the government, and there's a lot of back and forth that occurs under a process that is prescribed under the petroleum agreement. So it is, from my perspective, something that's worth taking the time to go back and forth with the government to find a resolution that is acceptable for everyone, and that's precisely what we're doing.
The audit was conducted by the government of Guyana as part of its cost recovery verification process, which is provided for under the petroleum agreement with the Stabroek Block co-venturers. In May, the government, through the Ministry of Natural Resources, indicated that it is disputing more than $65 million in declared expenses from the Exxon Mobile company in its second cost audit. The second audit, which examined costs incurred between 2018 and 2020, reviewed $7.2 billion in declared expenses. Of that amount, the government did not accept $65.1 million. Exxon Mobil and its co-partners are currently in the process of furnishing the Natural Resources Ministry with the requisite information in an attempt to address the disputed amount. Meanwhile, the third audit covering the period 2021 to 2023 is currently being reviewed by the Guyana Revenue Authority.
New York City, summer is about to get hot. Saturday, August 2nd, S.R. Hamilton LLC presents Gospel Infusion. Featuring Samuel Medas, Psycho, Eddie Neblett, Sean Daniels out of Trinidad, Carlvin Burnett, Christelle Brandt, Sherilyn Maloney, DJ Kesta D, and many more at the South Jamaica Multi-Service Center, 11402 Guy R. Brewer Boulevard, Queens, New York. Gates open at 4 p.m., showtime 5 p.m. Get your super early bird tickets for only $50. General admission $70. Pay more at the gate, and limited VIP $100 all inclusive. Come and experience the outpouring of God's grace Saturday, August 2nd. For more information, visit Gospel Infusion on Facebook and Instagram.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Need small appliance for your kitchen? Giftland have it. Need fridge or stove? Giftland have it. Speakers or laptop? Giftland have it. I'm telling you, Giftland have everything. And don't get me started on TVs. 58-inch, 65-inch, 70-inch, 75-inch. All sizes in leading brands. Best thing about it, they give a warranty. Man, Giftland is the place for all your electronics purchases.
Washi. Hi people, washing made so easy since I found Washi. Washing me use wash me clothes and I can say Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder leave me clothes smelling nice, of course. So give thanks to Washi soap powder for doing my laundry right. Keep my clothes color bright, have me clothes smelling nice for sure. I could not ask for more. Comes in lemon and original. It is a washing machine in a pack. Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder have my clothes smelling nice, of course.
Distributors located in the Starbrook Market.
New York City, summer is about to get hot. Saturday, August 2nd, SR Hamilton LLC presents Gospel Infusion. Featuring Samuel Meadows, Psycho, Eddie Neblett, Sean Daniels out of Trinidad, Carlvin Burnett, Christelle Brandt, Sherilyn Maloney, DJ Kesta D, and many more at the South Jamaica Multi-Service Center, 11402 Guy R. Brewer Boulevard, Queens, New York. Gates open at 4 p.m., showtime 5 p.m. Get your super early bird tickets for only $50. General admission $70. Pay more at the gate, and limited VIP $100 all inclusive. Come and experience the outpouring of God's grace Saturday, August 2nd. For more information, visit Gospel Infusion on Facebook and Instagram.
General Secretary of the governing People's Progressive Party, Vice President Jagdeo, this afternoon declared that his party is happy to welcome opposition members who have come out in support of the party and have endorsed President Irfan Ali for a second term. Opposition Member of Parliament Gita Chandan Edmond, along with the regional chairman and the vice chairman of Region Number 4, Daniel Seram and Samuel Sandy, were the latest opposition members to endorse the Pipi Civic. At his weekly press conference this afternoon, Mr. Jagdeo promised that those coming to his party from the opposition will be treated equally.
We're happy to welcome these people in our family. And I can assure them we treat all of our members and supporters with respect. Now, I've seen a lot of attempts to vilify these people. And people, we live in a free country. So people can express their views about what they see as defection and what I see as people coming to us because of the progress and the leadership given by the People's Progressive Party.
The vice president said he sees the endorsements as a positive, where persons are choosing to endorse a national plan and want to work for all Guyana. He said the endorsements also signal endorsing a multi-ethnic platform and competency in government.
I see it as a support of democratic traditions and values versus the complaints that we get from the other side. So I have an entirely positive view of this matter. And I said to the people when I spoke with them that they would be vilified. But now the people who are doing the vilification are the ones who are isolated.
Mr. Jagdeo said none of the persons who came out in support of his party, the PPP, were promised any positions in government. However, he said persons who join the PPP must understand that while self-development is important, they must be interested in the development of the country as a whole.
None of the people, not a single one of them who have come to us voluntarily, who support this agenda for development, personal development as country's development, has been offered anything. No position in the ones we win the elections, nothing of that sort.
Jagdeo said it is clear that the PP civic is on the rise ahead of the upcoming elections, and he understands the decision by many to ditch the APNU and the AFC, which he described as sinking ships. Well, the Guyana Tourism Authority has welcomed the addition of KLM Dutch Airlines to the Guyana skies as boosting connectivity to Guyana and its tourism product. KLM launched its twice-weekly service between Amsterdam and Georgetown on Wednesday. At a reception at the Jagdeo International Airport to welcome the flight, Executive Director of the Guyana Tourism Authority, Cameron Baksh, said that with Guyana's tourism product expanding steadily, it is good to have yet another airline bringing more passengers to experience Guyana.
It is also a significant milestone for the tourism industry and, the prospects that it has for the hospitality and travel industry.
Minister within the Ministry of Public Works, Deodat Indar, who overlooks the aviation sector, noted the government's commitment to getting more airlines to make Guyana part of their destinations. He said it is no fluke that new airlines are now eyeing the Guyana market, and he added that Guyanese should be proud of that development. He also said the airport's expansion and development will continue to attract other airlines.
Because today, our country has grown to a place where we attract folks like you guys. And some of the big carriers too. I stood right here at this podium when myself and Minister Ejil and the team from CGI welcomed British Airways. And it's testament of hard work.
Meanwhile, officials of KLM Airlines said they are committed to the Guyana market and will continue to push the development of the market.
It's with immense pride and heartfelt excitement that I stand before you today as we truly mark a very historic moment. The first time in 106 years of KLM history, we have landed in Georgetown, Guyana. Today, we do not just celebrate the landing of that aircraft, but we celebrate, as I mentioned earlier, the connection between continents, the connection between people, between shared visions of growth, as the President articulated yesterday. It's about opportunity and establishing a long and sustainable partnership.
KLM will operate flights between Amsterdam and Georgetown on Wednesdays and Sundays. The flights will be operated through St. Martin. A 28-year-old truck driver from Queenstown on the Essequibo coast lost his life tragically last night in a smash-up involving two trucks and an excavator that was being towed. The dead man has been identified as Kevin Backus. A police report stated that another truck being driven by 43-year-old Jairam Suku was proceeding north in the western drive lane along the Riverstone Public Road on the Essequibo coast at around 9:25 last night, when the truck being driven by Kevin Backus was being driven in the opposite direction. Eyewitnesses reported to the police that a truck being driven by Backus was proceeding along the roadway in a fast rate and appeared to be out of control. According to the surviving driver, Jairam Suku, after noticing the truck in the opposite direction being driven in a zigzag manner, he pulled to the side of the roadway, but the truck still slammed into the tow bed of his truck, crashing into an excavator that was being transported at the time. The driver of that truck, Kevin Backus, was pulled from the mangled wreck and taken to the City Hospital. However, he was later pronounced dead. The driver of the other truck who pulled to the side of the roadway, as well as the driver who was in the excavator that was being towed, were both taken into custody for questioning. The police said a full investigation has been launched into the fatal accident, as it reminds road users to practice safe driving on the country's roadways.
The moment is coming. He has the ball. Will he make the shot? And he made it! Goal! This is the biggest win we've seen in ages. Feel the rush with every bet and win big. Play online at www.ibetgamesur.com.
With iBet Supreme, every game is your game. iBet to win with iBet Supreme.
Must be 18 years and older to bet.
Buster presenting the new 500 milliliter. Wow, Buster flavorful. Make every meal better. Grab a Buster for drink, Buster move. Taste this. 500 ml, that's it. Buster for this, that's cool. Buster 500 milliliter is a brand new choice of my drink with my food. Vibing every munch, that's smooth. Introducing the new Buster 500 milliliter. Grab a bottle with your lunch today.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guy is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyana's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guy Oil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
When the night has come and the land is dark.
Somebody in a happy mood.
Yes, Pujilu, because Ban's birthday coming up and I gonna be present.
Last year you, your friend them been.
And you like that?
If me and you ain't go together this year, things gonna be dark, really dark.
Let's celebrate the band's birthday on Saturday, 28th of June at the National Park with 9 one-man bands and Granny Ivy.
Big birthday!
Early bird tickets for $2,000. Stage front, $5,000. Tickets located at Just Your Size Boutique, Stovetop, White Castle Fish Shop, Fireside Suites, and Team Extra Stabrook Market. Band's birthday 2025, June 28th at the National Park. Gates open from 6 p.m. and free gate upon entry.
Ooh, la, la, la. Let's go dancing.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. The Trinidad and Tobago Ministry of Defense has launched a comprehensive investigation into allegations by Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro of the infiltration of Colombian paramilitary groups into eastern Venezuela through Trinidad and Tobago. In a statement on Wednesday, the ministry stated that it was aware of recent reports and an investigation was launched in response. It said, and I quote, "Preliminary findings indicate that there is currently no evidence to support these allegations. However, the ministry is taking immediate and decisive steps to address the matter with the utmost seriousness and urgency." As part of the ministry's ongoing commitment to national security, it is working in close coordination with law enforcement agencies and security forces to enhance surveillance and reinforce border security in critical areas. Additionally, the Ministry of Defense said it will engage its Venezuelan counterparts through the appropriate diplomatic channels to gather any relevant information or evidence that could assist in this matter. The ministry stressed that the safety and security of citizens remain its highest priority. The public can be assured that the ministry is closely monitoring the situation and will continue to provide timely and credible updates through usual communication channels, the statement read. Maduro made the claim during a recent swearing-in ceremony of governors. He announced that the men were carrying weapons of war and attempted to breach the border through Trinidad and Tobago. An effort by Chilean President Gabriel Boric to expand abortion rights in the final months of his administration could finally give him a progressive legacy after 3 years in office. But it is an uphill task that Latin American conservatives are hoping will fail as they seek to reverse gains for the abortion rights movement in the region. According to Reuters, Boric set off a fierce debate in Congress this week with a bill to ease restrictions on abortion. The attempt to fulfill a campaign promise comes at the tail end of an administration that has failed to deliver on progressive proposals such as wide-ranging tax reforms and a liberal new constitution, which was rejected at a referendum in 2022. Chile's proposed law could decriminalize abortion and allow for the termination of pregnancies up to 14 weeks under any circumstance, putting the country on par with neighboring Argentina. And finally tonight, international news. U.S. President Donald Trump signed a proclamation on Wednesday banning the citizens of 12 countries from entering the United States, saying the move was needed to protect against foreign terrorists and other security threats. The directive is part of an immigration crackdown Trump launched this year at the start of his second term, which has included the deportation to El Salvador of hundreds of Venezuelans suspected of being gang members, as well as efforts to deny enrollments of some foreign students and deport others. The countries affected by the latest travel ban include Chad, Congo Republic, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. The entry of people from 7 other countries, include Cuba and Venezuela, will be partially restricted. In a video posted on X, Trump said, and I quote, "We will not allow people to enter our country who wish to do us harm," end of quote. He said the list could be revised and new countries could be added. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I am Svetlana Marshall, wishing you a pleasant evening.